I'm headed to Open Sauce, which is a convention that's like Maker Faire meets VidCon, and I'm going to have a couple machines set up with some friends, and we're going to be doing demos for about 3 days. So before that happens, I want to make sure that my machine is in good working order and is not going to have any issues. So let me walk you through some basic knitting machine maintenance. The tools we need for this are paper towels, oil. I have both the knitting machine oil that came with my machine and sewing machine oil. You can also use gun oil. Do not use WD-40. It's also a solvent and will break down the plastic in your machine. I also have a little brush that came with my machine. You can also use compressed air or like a little vacuum cleaner thing. So let's first take a look at what we have going on. So this is a well-loved and well-used knitting machine. If you've been watching my channel, you know that. The back of the case is full of a bunch of accessories that don't go with this machine and need to get removed. And then on the bed, we have some buildup of this black gunk, which is probably a combination of like dust and oil and maybe some metal that's been wearing down. And then the carriage is a little iffy. We've got some buildup of oils from my hand here, and then some general dust that needs to be removed. And the needles are all in good working order. And I know this because I've been knitting with it and I've just replaced needles that have issues. So I don't have to worry about that. And the sponge bar was replaced recently, so I'm not going to have to pull that out. But there is a lot of fluff that's building up in here that needs to be removed. So let me start with the big stuff first, and then we will get to the little bits of cleaning. Okay, let's start by removing all of the extra stuff. So these things hold weights for my bulky machine. This is the sinker plate for my color changer. This is the attachment for my color changer that attaches it to the bed. We don't need that. We got a bunch of weights that are actually for the ribber. They can go. And then this is the connecting arm for the ribber. We got another piece of the bulky machine, another weight for the bulky machine, and then a bunch of extra claw weights. These are useful, but they don't actually belong in this case. As I'm working, I just kind of throw things in the back of the case and don't worry about them. Oh, we've got 2 tension masts. Okay. And another claw weight. Let's see. The lace carriage is where it's supposed to be in the back of the bed. Let's pull out the extra tension mast. We only want 1 in the case. And then this cable is the power supply for AYAB. And I'm going to leave this in here and just kind of like tuck it down when I put the case together, so that's not going to be in the way. And then these tools go elsewhere, but for now we'll just pull them out. That's everything that's supposed to be there. So we have 1 claw weight. This 910 should have a big claw weight and a little claw weight. Okay, and then over here we have the tension mast for my color changer. Oh, come on, let me show you this. It has 4 thingies, so I can use 4 strands of yarn at the same time. I'm just going to put this away for now. And then we have a 3rd tension mast set up here. I didn't realize I had so many attached to this machine at this point. Okay, we're all good. Gonna pull the sinker plate off. Let's see. That's in pretty good shape. I don't see a whole lot of fluff. I don't see anything worn down. And this doesn't need to be oiled because there's not a whole lot going on with it. But it lives here in the case. He's out of the way for now. The brother cases have decals where the parts are supposed to fit. So if we move this over to the side and lift it up, this fits here on top of the tension mast. I'm not going to put the connector thing down yet because the thingies go in here. But the wires should be held back over here. Back here we have the extension rails for the lace carriage, but they're in the right place, don't have to worry about them. These guys fit under here. Okay, so if we see this gray thing under here, this is where the cast-on combs are supposed to fit. And the indentations in the comb line up there-ish? Or is that the first one? I never know how to do this. Oh yeah, it's this one. So it fits in there. Is it there? It fits there? Nope, it doesn't fit there. How does this go? Does it go the other way? It might go the other way. Okay, so we have this one in that way. And then this one also should go in there. I don't think it really matters how it goes in there, but on top. And it fits into the groove here. And then this comes down and it gets slid in there and it holds down the cast-on comb so nothing's sliding around. Okay, that's everything that's supposed to fit into the back of the machine. This carriage is a little gross. I'm not going to deep clean it right now because it's going to get handled a lot in the next few days, but I am going to try to brush most of the fluff out of it. And this just happens from fibers shedding off yarns as I knit, and like lotion and oils on my hands. I have just a wet paper towel here. I'm gonna scrub off some of this grossness. The fluff gets into every single little nook and cranny. Okay, that's probably good enough for the top. And now, let's pull it off the bed. So the knob over here goes to CR, which is carriage release, and let's take a look at the bottom. The handle folds down, so let's do that first. And now let's look at the bottom. Okay, so we've got some fluff under here. Where'd my thing go? Let's brush the fluff out of here. Oh, and there's some up here too. And then I'm just gonna wipe some of this greasy stuff out of the back channel here. Again, we're not deep cleaning. This is just a basic once over to get some of the grossness off of this. Come on. And then brushing more fluff out of the levers. That's pretty decent. And now I'm going to oil the moving parts. So I like to take a transfer tool and my oil and just trace the path a needle would take through the carriage. Like that part's supposed to move. So let's give that a little oil. Work it back and forth a bit. And then this part also moves. Give it a little oil. Work it in. And then just with all these parts that move. Just bring it under there. Let's see if I can get that little oil. Nope. Yeah, get it down in there. And does it need this much oil? Probably not. Is it gonna hurt it? No. That lever moves a bit. Now let's hit some buttons and see what else is supposed to move. That's good, that's good. That's good. You get these? I don't think I got these. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna call this carriage good enough. And I should also do this with the lace carriage at some point, but we're not gonna be using the lace carriage much in our demos because it is tricky. Okay. And then let's look at the bed before we put this back on. So we've got some fluff down here that I'm just gonna comb out. And also in this backpack here, we got some fluff. Let's get that out of there. And then I'm just gonna wipe down the back here because I know this gets a lot of use and there's a lot of crap built up on it. All right, now it's time to oil the bed. I know where the carriage comes in contact with the metal, so I'm gonna put a couple drops along this back rail, and then we'll use the carriage to distribute it later. And I'm gonna way overdo this and then wipe it down later. And then I'm gonna put a bunch of oil down behind the needles, and we'll use the carriage to distribute this as well. And then it also rides along this front rail, so let's do a little bit along here. Now this is way more oil than it needs, but it's gonna be fine. So let's put the carriage back on the bed. We still have CR selected. Oh, we got wires in the way. So let's go back to NL. Oh, that moves nice and smoothly. Okay. The carriage is distributing the oil that we have put down. Now let's select some needles. Okay, and I'm just gonna sop up some of the extra oil so it doesn't get anywhere. And in the process, I'm kind of like brushing it over the metal. It just helps keep it from rusting. All right, I'm gonna call that oiled. And I'll just be careful not to touch it for a little while as it does its thing. Okay, now I'm putting these all back into out of work, rather. And now let's secure everything where it's supposed to be. So to transport this, the arm folds down on this, and then the carriage is supposed to go over here, and this is called a carriage lock. It's a metal piece that hooks into the thumb screw here, and then it's supposed to hook into here, but it's not going to work right now because I have the ribber attached. So let's pull the ribber off first. The ribber is attached with clamps down at the bottom. These come off. And we're going to need these later because these are actually the clamps for putting this down flat. And then it's also attached to the main bed. So we loosen these big screws. And the ribber comes off. Slides out. We gotta wiggle it a little bit. Put this down over here. Okay. Now we can put the carriage into the carriage lock. So this just fits into the slot here and then into the thumb screw. Come on. And it gets screwed down. And then this is not going to go anywhere in transport. The 910 has a toolbox, and on the back it's got a rail so that it will fit onto the machine and not move back and forth. So let's make sure all the tools are in the toolbox correctly. So hold on, we'll pull everything out first. So this is a little dusty. you can see the decals. The tools go down here, and then the claw weights go up here. So let's put 2 claw weights in the box where they're supposed to go. Bottle of oil goes here. Bottle of oil. Come on. Oh, it goes on the side. And then I have no idea what goes there. But our little brushy guy goes here. And then this is where the clamps go. Go down for a second. Then I believe this guy fits in here somewhere. Does it go under there? I don't know. This is the plating feeder for the main bed, and it goes in there somewhere. This is a pencil. I don't know if this is the original grease pencil for the Mylars, but it came with the box when I purchased it. And then we have the wax, which fits up here. And then we have our 1x3 every other needle selector here. And the regular one on top of it. And then we should have a 1x3 transfer tool, a 2x1 transfer tool, a latch hook. That's the wrong latch hook. Where's my other latch hook? I've lost a tool. Here it is. A latch hook tool, and then we should have a 2x3 as well. Let me see if I can find it. Here's our 2x3 tool. And then we have these clips for the Mylars, which fit about here, I believe. Yeah, they're like little cutouts. And then this also as well, which I believe is also part of the Mylar stuff. But I'm not taking Mylars with me because my Mylar reader is broken, so that's staying out of the box. And I believe that's everything. So this is going to sit on the bed. I'm not entirely sure where it sits on the bed. I always forget this. I think it's like over here somewhere. But it's about there. We'll move it if we have to. Okay, now it's time to package everything up. So this comes up. And then slides over the front first. Should be angled up a little bit and away from you. And you gotta get it lined up right or it's not gonna go on. There we go. In the back of the machine, we have these latches that get caught on these catches here. And then while we're over here, let me point out the handle. This has a handle on it. We should not use it. This was made in 1980, so this is 45-year-old plastic. These tend to break unexpectedly, and the machine itself is pretty heavy, so you wind up dropping it and potentially breaking things or also injuring yourself in the process. So don't pick it up by the handle, don't carry it by the handle. And I had this set up with the river, so it's got these angled clamps going here. These need to come off. I like to use a big screwdriver for this, for leverage. Oh, the other way. Is that right? Righty-tighty. Lefty-loosey. Lefty. Oh, no, that feels worse. Yeah, that's better. I don't actually know my left from my right. Don't worry about it. That's fine. Okay. And then I'm going to carefully slide this off the stand and put it down on my chair. Oh, crap, it's stuck. Crap, it's stuck. Why is it stuck? Ta-da! Come on, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. And now here's the bottom side of the machine, and these just unscrew and then slide down and come out. And now this machine's ready to go. My machine is all packed up, and it's slightly off camera because it's a little too heavy for me to pick up in this position. But I have a lot of heavy stuff to lug around for this trip, so I got myself a little folding handcart thing. There it goes. I just pull up on the handle and it becomes a little cart. And then we put one machine, Mom. And we put two machine. Ah. Oh boy. And then linker on top of that. And now you can easily move these around without having to suffer like I did last year. Okay. Here we go. Get these out of the way. Come on. Ugh. Okay. Ugh. And there we have a clean and functional knitting machine that can hold up to hours of demos and a bunch of people who are just interested in seeing what knitting machines can do, and we can show off a YAB, and it'll be a good time. So I've only been machine knitting for about 5 years, and this is what I currently know about machine knitting, maintenance, and oiling. And if you are a more experienced machine knitter and you know more and there's anything that I missed, please let me know in the comments and share with the rest of this community so we can all learn together. But I hope you found this useful. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you can take care of your machine so it lasts a long time. I would like to say thank you to channel members who make videos like this possible. If you'd like to become a channel member and support the content that I'm making here, you can click the join button down below. All channel members get early access to new videos, and channel members at the mid-tier and higher get access to members-only videos. Like recently, I did an unboxing of more yarn, which I'm not supposed to be buying more yarn, but this is a very ambitious project, and I set some big goals for myself that are not all knitting related. There's some kinds of like networking and stretch goals involved in this project. I hope I can make it happen, but it's going to be so much work. So if that's your thing, go check it out. Thanks for watching. Happy knitting. We do something like this, and you can like see the Singer logo. Okay, there's probably something in there. It is too hot out here, and I have started a new running program, and I'm way overdoing it, and I'm just tired, and I need a break. So I'm gonna go do that. Oh boy. Goodbye.